Hey, what's up everyone? Roger here from The Real Breakdown. Guys, I just got out of watching an early screening of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So I'm just going to give you my quick thoughts, guys. I have seen all of the newer Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movies. So I've seen the ones beginning all the way from James Franco. All the older ones I haven't really seen. So I'm not going to lie. I saw my ticket today to come and see this, and I was planning on rewatching all of the James Franco and like basically all the last three, right? Because this is the fourth one in like the newer iterations of the Planet of the Apes movies. I wasn't able to, so I was coming into this being like, all right, I remember obviously Caesar and I remember a lot of it, but I didn't remember all the nitty gritty stuff, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't super duper like hyped to see this movie. I'm just like, all right, another Planet of the Apes movie. Let's go check it out. What can I say about it, guys? Well, I can tell you that this is actually a really solid film. Wes Ball directed this, and I know he did like the Maze Runner movies, I believe, and those were pretty decent as well. But I gotta say, this was a solid entry into the Planet of the Apes trilogy, franchise, whatever you want to call it. First and foremost, the CGI, the graphics, the motion capture, all of it, by far the best we have seen. I know every time the Planet of the Apes movies, since Andy Serkis, right, in the first few ones, as Caesar, they were amazing. They were great. This is the best it has seen. It has looked. I mean, we're talking better than Thanos in Infinity War and Endgame. We're talking like it is shocking how realistic. It's better than Lion King. Like these apes, these animals, they look real. And even in this one too, right? We have like apes in the water and they look pretty realistic. Now, it's not perfect. There are a few times where you can definitely tell it's CGI, but overall, guys, this is the best it has looked, and I was pretty amazed by it. So that was definitely by far the best thing about the movie. The score was pretty good as well. John Paisano, who the only reason I know him is because he scored the Spider-Man video game, and he's great. The score in this is really solid as well. It actually adds to like the movie, and like it plays a role into the movie very, very well. So the movie started, and for me personally, it was a little slow to get going. The first 10 to 15 minutes, I thought, all right, this is like, I don't know, it's kind of slow. I'm not super interested. And then it really picks up the plot. You kind of jump right into the plot after the first 10 minutes and the action starts. And then you're like, all right, here we go. I'm on this journey. I'm on this adventure. I'm ready to go. What's interesting is that the beginning and the end of this movie is kind of what really ties to like the Planet of the Apes mythos and storyline and all that stuff. But other than that, everything in between, once the plot really picks up and the storyline starts going, like, it really is kind of a self-contained movie. What I mean by that is that, like, I don't know, for me, it feels like most of the movie is about this character, Noah, and this girl, and kind of like the journey that they're on, but also like new discoveries happen along the way. But their story is pretty self-contained. It connects to like the overall franchise and mythology, right? About like the apes taking over the planet and like what happens to the humans and the virus. So all that is connected. It's in there. But like the actual storyline and the consequences of it don't necessarily tie to the grander, like, okay, is this the movie where like officially the humans are done, it's over with, and the apes will reign supreme? Not necessarily. And I kind of love that, to be honest, because to me, this really felt like a standalone Apes film. So I said that the first 10 to 15 minutes were kind of slow. But another thing that I noticed in the first kind of like 30-ish minutes is that it took me a while to adjust to this world. Because as someone, I know I might be in the minority here, but like, as someone who like in the first three films, all the way up to like the one with Woody Harrelson, I was kind of rooting for the humans, right? Like, I know that like most people are like watching the movie, especially the first one, and like the mistreatment of the apes and stuff, and they root for the apes, and I get that, right? Like, I'm totally for that. But like, overall, what I mean is that like in most of the movies, I found myself rooting for the human race, right? Because I'm human, and like, you know, I want my species to survive, right? This was the first one where like it really is without many humans. It really is mostly just apes. And that kind of took me a while to adjust, because it was like, because look, these apes look so real, and the way that they moved and the way that they maneuver themselves and the way that they interact with each other is very different than how humans do, right? So it took me a while to adjust that. I'm not saying that's a negative thing. I actually think that's kind of a positive thing, where like the movie looks so real that I'm like, I'm not used to seeing apes move like this. I'm not used to seeing, and given they're not moving at like human, like, I know in some of the older apes movies, the apes get to a point where like they walk like humans. They're not there yet, but like the way that they were moving around just really like took me a while to process and really like kind of get used to. Once I did though, like I was able to really ingratiate myself into the story, into the world. That's another great thing too, right? The cinematography in this is fantastic. We saw that in the trailers. The scenery looks fantastic, and what they've done with like, all like the leftover buildings and like how like greenery has grown on them and stuff like that. Like the world that they built is fantastic. The apes look great. The voiceover, to be honest, I don't know any of the voiceover cast. I didn't really look it up, but they were fantastic. I feel like their voices really fit. The way that their speech was done, and like they can speak more than they have in other movies, but their speech, there's still like a speech impediment to them. Like it's not fully 100% there how us humans have it or had it. But yeah, overall, guys, I think this was a fantastic entry. And I honestly went in from walking into be like, all right, another Apes movie. Haven't seen the last three in a while, and not super interested, to like now I'm walking out and I'm like, that was good. That was really good. So that's it, guys. Those are my thoughts. I do think that this is a movie that is worth watching in theaters. I saw it in Dolby, as always. But definitely, if you are a fan, or if you're interested, or if you're kind of on the fence, I would definitely say this is one worth watching in the theaters. So with that said, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for what's next to come on The Real Breakdown.